really freaky dream. Huh. Who the heck was that Dackman guy? And why was I doing a live stream show with him? I'm glad that's over with. But oh no.
And hello, everybody. Guess who's back for another edition of Large Scale Consolidated Live on the MrPictovid YouTube
What
channel.
the hell are you doing?
Oh,
You trying to kick me out of here? I thought we got rid of you already.
Hey,
oh, wow.
what's going on here?
I wasn't expecting you.
Oh, what the heck's going
I'm
on,
really
Andrew?
confused here. Like, I know I'm like overly tired, but am I delusional right now?
No, I don't think so.
Gee, I didn't respond to one email, and this is what happens.
Oh, wow. Oh, but it's great that you guys have brought me back for this particular show. Thank you very much. And Andrew, it's like thank you for having me back on the show. You guys have been doing a great job on this show, and couldn't be more proud of you guys for doing what you're doing in the G Scale community.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
And but at any rate, I didn't know if you wanted to go to your sponsor, if you wanted me to go on, or
Yeah, you said you wanted to say hello to a few people. So
yeah. So I just wanted to highlight my traditional thing was to highlight a couple people in the chat. So we're going to go ahead and just highlight a few people, and then I'll hand the show over to Andrew here. But we have Larry Otis. We have Kyle Kuiper. See, I remember how to say his name right.
I thought it was
Jeff Hacker. And everybody knows that I was, was a terrible with names, especially when it came to John Simkovich, the French Canadian. But forgive me, John. You're a great guy. Canadian Railroads. Let's see. Stay Loaded. Wigwag. And I'll name off a couple of others. Aunt D, looks like. And one more here we'll do. Philip Williams. So I'm going to hand the show back over to you, Andrew. Thank you very much.
I still don't know if I'm going to be able to get over seeing Andrew in his bed.
I don't know if I want to be on this show anymore.
Hey.
No,
I thought we had a better show going.
Oh, wow. I think it gained 10 viewers when I did that.
I gained 10 viewers.
Is that like the camera adds 10 viewers?
The camera adds 10 viewers.
10 pounds, they say the camera. Never mind.
I'm not sure about that one.
Never mind.
So, moving right along, we got a couple newsworthy items tonight on here. As soon as I find what I wanted to share here. Nothing changes, does it? I should probably blame the cat, right, Sean?
You've always been lagging.
So it looks like Charles Road did finally get in the three packs of the auto racks, Nico?
Yes.
And
I believe he got the 3-packs in, the singles with containers and the singles without containers, but the containers aren't in yet. That's what I heard.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard as well.
You mean intermodal cars?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, just the container packs haven't arrived yet.
Okay.
So if they have them in, anybody that deals the USA stuff should be having it available as well, right?
Correct.
Now, people have been wanting these for quite some time. I think this was the one thing that they've been wanting to see for a while.
Yeah,
And I noticed that they have the 3-pack instead of a 6-pack of the articulated ones.
5.
5? Oh, they
Yep.
are 5?
Yep.
Okay, because
Ooh, DHL containers.
they're nice. Some current stuff. Yeah, look at that.
Looks like some of that stuff's coming in May, the containers and that. So, okay.
A lot of that stuff is going to sell pretty well. JB Hunt, is that what they said?
Yep.
Yeah. And then I can't
Well,
remember,
they did have everything on pre-order as well, so
I can't remember what I showed last time on this one, but looking at the stuff from MTH on their 1-gauge stuff.
you showed that.
Did I show this, the Christmas one that's coming up?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. I thought I had. Did I show the Christmas flat cars last time?
Old news.
Old news? All right. I thought I had something new in there. I guess not. Nope. All right. Well, repeat as anyway. MTH will have some Christmas flat cars coming out, as well as the locomotive that goes with that. Oh, that's what I was thinking. It was this U.S. Army one that's listed over here. The only other thing, let's see. No, I think that's all I had for the news stuff for tonight. It was kind of light. I do have the stuff on upcoming shows. Let me pull that up. Quit laughing at me, Sean. You're making me nervous.
No, I actually wasn't laughing at you. I was actually looking at the comments and laughing at Larry Otis. He says he didn't want to see Nico getting out of the other side of the bed with you.
I see Phillips Williams asked, are they going to have 53-foot containers? Have you heard? Did you happen to notice, Nico, on that?
No, not off the top of my head.
All right, let me stop that and share this other tab. So as always, if there's a G-Scale event, whether it's open house, a show, a convention, if it's a show that a G-Scale club is going to have their modules or floor layout set up at, and it's not on the calendar, you can go to the largescaletrains.com website, go to events, and you can do the event submission and actually submit it there. I'm not sure why that's not loading. Obviously, the 2024 East Coast Large Scale Train Show is coming up on April 12th and 13th. We'll actually talk in more detail about that shortly. Not sure why the logo is not showing up, but of course, the end of April on the 27th and 28th is the 2024 Northeast Large Scale Train Show in West Springfield, Mass. RLD Hobbies Open House, May 3rd and 4th. And I always get that wrong. Is it Albion, Illinois? Is that correct, Nico?
Yep.
Mocan Garden Railroaders, their Midwest Garden Railroad Gathering is May 30th to June 2nd. The Northeast Ohio Large Scale Train Show, June 1st. That's in Warren, Ohio. Of course, the Big Train Operators 2024 Convention in Burdenham, PA. Now, that is one that you do need to be a member of the BTO club, but it's $50 a year. You get 4 nice quarterly magazines out of it. And you do also have to register the convention. There is a registration fee for it, but you can find more info on that if you go to the site and click into the event there. I got links to the BTO website, not where they have more info. Also, didn't skip one. The Northern Colorado Garden Railroaders are going to have their Summer Garden Railroad Tour June 15th from 9 to 4 p.m. The Rose City Garden Railway Society is going to have their Summer Garden Railroad Tour. That's in Portland, Oregon, June 15th from 10 to 5. The Greater Cincinnati Garden Railway Society is going to have their tour Cincinnati, Ohio, of course, July 27th and 28th. San Diego Garden Railway Society is going to have a West Coast regional meet August 10th to the 15th. The Georgia Garden Railway Society has a G-Scale Southern Regional get-together. It's going to be August 23rd and 25th. And the Columbus Garden Railway Society is going to have their annual Garden Railway Tour on September 8th from 1 to 5 p.m. And, oh, wait, I might have something else here. And the Pennsylvania Garden Railway Tour is going to be October 6th from, I don't have a time on that yet. I think that one, I just have the date for it at the moment. But obviously, I'll update all that as time goes on. And as always, check the website. I'll have more info on there for that stuff.
Usually that's a late afternoon show.
Yeah. But that is all I have for.
So on the containers,
Yeah.
20, 40, 45, and 48.
Okay.
48 would be the longest. They're not making a 53-foot container.
Okay. Oh, did you happen to see Larry Otis's comment there?
About what?
This one, where he said the TCA convention's overlapping.
And I said this.
Okay.
Wait, no, not that. The hell did I say? That.
Priority straight.
Get his priority straight.
Oh. And there's Ravenhawk 6910 saying good evening.
Hey, Sterling, how's it going?
So, with that said, though,
did you play our?
That's what I was going to say for Split Jaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do our sponsor video here for Split Jaw, and we'll be right back with our guests.
The following episode of Large Scale Live is brought to you by Splitjaw, makers of quality metal products for the G-scale modeling world. For rail clamps, expansion joints, bridges, and more, Splitjaw Products has you covered. For more information, visit their website at www.railclamp.com.
All right. And without further ado, we have Dawn and Sarah from Star Hobby. How you doing, guys?
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I know. We got to look at Sean. I apologize. Hang on, I can fix that.
Nobody wants to see that on the big screen.
No. So, what can you guys tell us? What's new?
We're just excited to have the show again this year and able to provide it to everybody. A little bit later than normal, but it's working out.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, did you say the dates before, Andrew? Sorry, I was making fun of Larry.
I believe I did, but I'm going to put them up on the screen here.
Yes, it's April 12th and 13th, Friday and Saturday.
12th and 13th. Okay.
Yeah.
And hours are
9 to 5 each day.
9 to 5 each day. Okay. 12th and 13th.
I
So-
plan on being there Saturday to see you guys.
Okay, good.
Good.
I'll be there Saturday also.
I unfortunately will not be there. You keep picking the same weekend as my wedding anniversary, and I still can't sell my wife on that romantic weekend of large scale trains. So I apologize.
So for this year, what's anything new? Is anything different?
No, we got pretty much the same players back. We're going to have the live stream guys out front. I know everybody's always excited to see them. I missed it last year when they had the, I think it was charcoal they were using to power up their stuff, or coal. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, Welsh coal.
That's what it was. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
cool, yeah.
Yeah, they were
That-
using
that-
Welsh coal. I got all that on video, actually. It was pretty
Oh,
cool.
Okay. Yeah, I hope to see it this year. I missed it last year. So we're excited to see that. And I think the weather will be nice a little bit later in the year because we've actually had a lot of rain here and a little bit cold fronts that came through. It was warm and then cold and wet, so this would be good.
So let me ask you guys this real quick because it's hitting the news, and so people know what's going on here. This bridge that went down has no effect where you guys are located, correct?
No, not really. That's closer to Baltimore. And you still have the 2 tunnels and the Beltway itself to go around. So really, it's only mostly the locals that use that from commuting over the river into the city or in places like that. And then the hazmat, like tankers and stuff that couldn't go in tunnels or didn't feel like going all the way around the Beltway would use that. So for the most part, not really. It may, for some people, it may change your route maybe by 20 minutes instead of shooting through there and hit one of the tunnels or the Beltway all the way around. I know when we used to do the Timonium show, and we still do, to the store, we actually went around the Beltway instead of through the bridge.
Oh, okay.
It was better and saved you a toll. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was just kind of a curiosity question because I normally use the Bay Bridge Route 50 to get there anyway. But
right. But there was a couple of phone calls. Yeah, I think one of the dealers that was coming from Delaware, whatever, was asking. And I said, just go the back way through the Bay Bridge. There's a toll there that made it a lot faster. I know from the store to the Oak Show, King of Prussia, door to door is like 2 hours because it just shoots you right through. So,
yeah, because I figured I'd ask the question in case people were on the live show were actually wondering, this big news hit about this ship hitting this bridge and it tumbled down, and if it would have and if it would have any effect on the show, which I already knew there was like 3 other routes, but maybe other people didn't know that. So I'm glad you explained all that. Yeah.
Now it really, even if I was going that direction, I still usually went around the other way of the Beltway or just hit the tunnel. That bridge was always, I personally didn't like the bridge. So trust bridges, notorious. So I just didn't like it.
I'm not a fan of going over the Bay Bridge, especially when the fog's so dense you can't see the car in front of you.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's no problem.
Yeah. But for the most part, anybody who is traveling the distance and just, whatever route you're using or apps kind of thing, I'm sure they'll reroute you. But you'll see they probably didn't change by much. It may make some of the routes a little bit longer just because of the congestion. People that used to take that route will have to take the other routes.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen any effect on that common traffic, especially over Bay Bridge to get to you guys, or no?
No, because our store is right there off the Bay Bridge, right by the Bay Bridge off Route 50. With Easter weekend, we saw heavy traffic on Friday, and that was high winds. And then just Easter weekend, a lot of people are off. Yeah. Especially around here, the schools were off last week or this coming week. So it was just heavy. But then Saturday, and I don't know about today, but Saturday was in the morning and all day was fine. No issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
That gives people an idea whether they should leave a little bit earlier.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And they'll be able to see the live steam guys right there from the road too. And I think we had some people just stop in, didn't even know trains like that existed, and then they came in. And we're still going to have the Washington Club and the Philly Club inside. They're excited to be there again, and we are too.
Great. Yeah, they always, especially the Southeastern Pennsylvania Garden Railway Society, they put on a good show. Those clubs put on a good show.
Yeah, both those guys are very active as a club, and we love that.
Mm-hmm.
They're willing to go to the shows. They do their own events, so it really helps the hobby, especially when there's not much out there for the hobby.
Yeah.
Besides a lot of used stuff being recycled, right?
Yeah.
So, do you have a list of vendors yet, or?
Yeah, so I posted it on the website yesterday, and it's still growing. I just wanted to put something out there for the time being. But each day we get new applications vending and
cool.
Stuff.
Now,
as everybody knows, dealers tend to always wait last minute to let you know if they're coming or not, or what changes are made and stuff like that.
I saw on Facebook you posted that you had a hotel lineup. Is there info for that on the website as well?
Yeah, so if you go to hotel info, I posted the link there, so you can either book through the link or give them a call. And it's the Crown Plaza again, which people have liked, and free breakfast for 2 people.
Yeah, it's where we stayed.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yep.
There's a lot of places right by the mall to eat for other things and things like that.
Let's see.
So we thought it was a nice hotel too. Breakfast is pretty decent, they said.
Where'd you say to go to, Sarah?
So go to show info and then hotel info. It should be there.
Back up.
Yep. Go up a little bit. Yep, there.
Okay. I just wanted to show people so they can go on there and check it out to book their rooms. Yeah,
Yep.
I stayed there before. I thought that was a very nice hotel.
Yep.
Yeah, they have good breakfast and, like my dad said, good locations with the restaurants nearby to eat.
Yeah, you could walk to a couple right from there too, which is nice. So you don't even have to drive.
Right.
Yay, you're getting Jim from G Scale Junction. I just saw him the other day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to have them.
And like I said, this list will continue to grow.
Yeah.
And there's about 3 people. There's just their names that are bringing collections, supposedly pretty decent sized ones. So we're excited about that too.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to find.
Like one of the guys said earlier about what the things they found last year. That was I know there was one that I can't remember if it was one of the vendors or somebody unloading their stuff. I saw a bunch of buildings going out the door last year, like constantly. They're so happy. There was like building after building at good pricing. So
yeah, there was a couple people there that were getting back into the hobby last year, and they were like buying up stuff that they had at one time and had sold off, and then buying it back.
Right.
Oh,
right.
I can't. I had this car and I bought it. Now I got to get it.
Right. Right.
So yeah, it was good to see some people getting back into it.
I forget that percentage. The VCheck discount that adds 30% to your bill, right?
Times are
Increases
tough.
your
It's actually 35 now. Increasing.
Oh man.
We will definitely give you the address to his house / hotel. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so everybody said we could all stay at VCheck's house.
That's right. I'm not sure if he's got much of a layout in the back anymore, but if he did, that would definitely be fun. Stay at his house and play with trains in the backyard.
No, I'm pretty sure they tied him up and looted his layout off.
I think so.
Well, that's what I'll let everybody think, though. I think he had a tree fall on it at some point, and that was pretty much it at that.
The end of it. Yep, the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it was up and running, it was a pretty cool layout.
Right. A lot of people have been there.
Good times.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Thinking of good times, Sean, did you have I know you had a couple of things that you wanted to share us on the East Coast show from the past.
So I was talking to Don at the Great Scale Train Show because I wanted to spin it off on him before I went forward to that project to make sure he would be okay with it. And so I have plans on creating the East Coast Large Scale Train Show documentary when it was at York, Pennsylvania. And this is to honor the people that were, may have passed away, vendors. We lost quite a few people, since that time period, and to remember the good times that we had at York. And Don agreed that was a pretty good idea to create this documentary. And I'm going to be doing it with, photos. I have a ton of photos. So I'll be doing it with photos. I'll be doing it with videos. I went through an external hard drive and I discovered videos that never even made it to my channel for some reason or another. So it should be a pretty interesting documentary about the York East Coast Large Scale Train Show. And it was just a time where, when I first got into G Scale and started going to that train show, I think it was right around 2007. It was my very first one. I happened to see it in the Garden Railways magazine. I'm like, I want to go to that. And I remember getting lost my first time getting there, but found it and I had a great time. And then, it's just, it's not just a train show to me. You create memories, you meet people, you make friends, and it was just like, it ended up being actually like a family reunion every year. Is how I felt.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Even from the dealer side, seeing all the dealers get together, and and passing ideas around and asking things. And those were great times with tons of manufacturers and small companies making stuff. We used to have the guy that came all the way from Arizona that used to do the roller bearings, and the guy that used to do decals and the painting. It was just a great time, especially when we first. If a lot of you may or may not remember the very first show being in New Jersey in 1999.
Atlantic City, right? Or no, summer. No, the first one was Atlantic or
Atlantic City.
Then I went to Somerset, right?
And then went to Somerset for I think 1 or 2 years, and then went to York. So yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that that's what I would like to do is create this documentary. Now I'm going to work on this during the summertime, so it's not like it's going to be released in the next couple of weeks. But it was something that spun off of Don, and I wanted to make sure that he understood that I was doing this in honor of the basically the York show when I was there.
Yeah, it was it was just good times, and everybody was coming out to and the clinics, the clinics that used to be able to be offered. And again, a lot of these people that used to do the clinics have passed on or are not doing it anymore.
Right.
Got out of the business or sold the business. From a lot of our dealers who have retired or sold their business, and we've gone to the G Gauge convention in California last year. So we're still out there supporting for what we can on our part, but just a lot of changes, throughout. We just did the World's Greatest Hobby in Cleveland.
I saw you there.
Yeah, we saw you there.
I got my case of Bachman metal wheels.
Yeah, that's right. And Bachman is out of the metal wheel, so whatever we have is all they have until who knows when.
Oh man.
So.
So if you guys would like to, because I noticed that Larry Otis says he has photos. If you guys would like to donate photos from the York Train Show to this, get with Andrew and he'll give you my email address or whatever it is, we need to do to get the donations to me. But if you guys want to donate photos for this.
Well, you might want to be specific with Larry Otis on the photos. He's
train photos, Larry. Train.
That's the show.
Yeah. No Speedo photos. I'm not going to. But many of you will recognize. Here we are. We're at York, Pennsylvania, York Fairgrounds. There's like 7 buildings in total on the fairgrounds, but the one that was always used was Memorial Hall, and I remember it with the green roof. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see right here, this is what you saw when you came to the show. You had the big G-scale sign hung up, and it was just, when I got there, I was like, excited and ready to go. So that was one of many pictures and I'm just highlighting. There we go. So I'm trying to load up, and there we go. When you walked in, you seen this. This was the East Coast Star Scale Train Show logo. You guys came up for York. Remember this?
Mm-hmm.
You walked in and you saw that photo. So then we're going to go ahead and I'm not going to go through all the pictures because I know we ain't got that kind of time, but I'm just going to randomly pick out some photos for you guys here. Now, the next one is going to be.
Uh-oh.
Sean might have closed his browser out on it.
The next one is
him gone.
See you later.
The magician.
Oh, wait, he's coming back.
I put the picture in the wrong tab.
That wasn't you. That's good. So.
Yeah.
I want to make sure it's best for our way. I didn't do that.
Yeah. So here, if you want to, I got to start the share screen all over again.
Okay.
So hold on 1 second here, and I'll get that started.
Well, you're looking for that.
Hold on, I got.
Paul Corey was mentioning about the 100-ton Aristo hoppers coming in, or not Aristo, Bachman, but same difference. But not with any coal loads. There's never been coal loads when Aristo had them, did they?
They didn't come with them. No,
right.
They were separate.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So I have it. I have it up there, Andrew.
All right. Where'd it go? There it is. Yeah.
So this was LGB before they got bought out by Markland. Ron Gibson was actually the salesman at the time. I'm good friends with him still on Facebook. And those of you may have remembered or may not remember when LGB got into doing American trains. So they had actually LGB of America.
Yep.
And then they started doing, the American box cars. There was a hopper car,
Tanker car.
So yeah, they were really getting into American stuff, but sort of things started going a little south with them.
I see Ray in the picture.
And well, we'll plop one in here for Nico.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
So there you go. You had clubs there. Anybody who's been to the show, you had the train clubs. I got a ton of footage of all the train clubs that were, basically displaying there. And let's see, we'll pop that in. So there you go.
Yep, that looks like our mess.
I always liked the table legs. I liked how they were done up as trestle bents.
Right.
Yeah, we saw that up in Massachusetts at the all-scale show up there, and we thought it was a great idea. So we came back and we redid all our legs.
You never noticed. That is cute. I like that.
And the highlight of this layout, I thought, was this right here. So I actually got that on video. Nico actually operated that. That's a lift bridge, a motorized lift bridge. So you just press a button, it comes up, and you can walk under it.
Yep,
Press
those were 2 desk legs, sit-stand desk legs. That's all I did. I just stole it out of there.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Burger Luch wanted to know where that sign is at, Nico.
It got destroyed.
Destroyed?
Yes.
How did it get destroyed?
It was up in Weatherly, and we had it standing, and one of these legs for these bridges was standing, and the leg for the bridge slipped and landed right on top of the sign.
Oh,
Shattered it.
That's not good.
Nope.
I like this. How did you get Ed McMahon back on the show? Hi, Heath.
Ed McMahon, that's pretty good. And then, Nico, you should recognize this right away.
Yeah, that's not my car.
Controversial jelly bean car.
That is not my car.
What are you eating now?
I had jelly beans out before.
Oh, right.
Before we went live, I was eating jelly beans in front of the show.
Anybody who's been to the show would remember the train runners, the PVC train runners.
Yes, sir.
So
they were to our right.
Yes. So
What was the guy's name that had all the circus stuff? He was great to come out every year.
Yeah. Hold on. I can help you out with
Mike?
that right,
Trying to remember his
right
name.
now. So we're gonna pop his name right up because I figured that you guys were gonna. There you go.
Craig Weaver.
Right,
Yeah,
that's
what I
it.
was thinking
That's
of.
it.
He had a
So not
military
only did he
too,
have
so-
the circus stuff, but he also had army stuff as well.
Yeah, it was the same layout, and he would just put like camouflage over all the circus stuff.
Yeah.
But he had it all, like, everything was like on wagons and stuff, right? Like to make it easier to move around.
I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so here you go. I'll plop that in. So there you go.
Yep. There it is. The wagons. Yep. Well, it was great. Always great to have him.
So there was a question, Will. Stop it.
Huh?
All right.
I said, will the LGB show be at the show this year?
We talked to those guys. They were trying to get to our show, but they had something else coming up because we talked to them last year, and they said get a hold of them early enough. And at that time, though, something else came up, so they will not be at the show this year.
Okay. And
But
then
they were trying to come though.
it said, Turk said that they can provide plenty of photos of the foyer area if you're interested.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely any
Good layout
photos
would be-
that you guys have you want to donate. I'll make sure that you guys get proper. I'll name you guys in the video and give you guys props for sending me video photos. So anybody who would like to donate towards the cause, you will get a mention in the video for it. I'll make sure of that.
What if I just send you jelly beans?
Send him an empty bag of jelly beans.
Will it have the sign "Not for Sean" on it again?
Maybe.
But there's Craig Weaver's army.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there it is with the camouflage over it.
Yeah, I think he only had that out like one or two. It wasn't out for many shows. He did more of the circus one than he did the army one.
Yep.
Yeah. This was one of the last shows at York because he was in the vendor hall.
Right. We put him right on the other side. Mm-hmm.
Now, many people may not have known, but at one point in time, and I'll put that in here, there was a model contest, and I got to see some very, very unique builds, for that contest. So I'll put this in here just to show you guys something. So if you guys may or may not recognize this car, but if you've been to the Pennsylvania Railroad Museum, you will see that car in there.
The real car.
The real car, yes.
Yep.
So this guy built a replica of it, and it came out pretty nice.
Yeah, I thought it was the Railway Museum of Pennsylvania, Sean.
Yes.
I get it wrong all the time, too.
The thing with trains in Pennsylvania. Over there.
There you go.
And by the way, everybody, I put a link in the chat that you can go to view Sean's playlist of all of his past East Coast videos from the layouts. You do it later, not right now.
Right. And then on top of that, speaking of buildings, so you guys may have remember this company, Colorado.
Oh yeah, Colorado Models.
Right. So they would offer, basically, they would offer. I don't know if they offered if it was kit or already built, but maybe they did already. But here they are.
No, most of them were kits. They were like all flat.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought they were kits.
Dad talked to him to see if he'd be willing to come out this year, and he's not able to because Mom and Dad are doing a show next weekend in Colorado and Denver, and I think he might be out there.
Colorado Models?
I think he's doing something. Dad talked to him. I haven't talked to him.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they still existed as a business or not.
Yeah, I think he's still around. Myself. Yeah, I think he's still around.
I'll have to look them up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Bridgeworks. Now I got to meet the original owner who actually started the company. His son now runs it, but unfortunately, Dave, who founded the company, had passed away a few years back. But I remember meeting him and his wife, and it's such a great couple to talk to. And, after a couple shows, they got to know me, and I was buying the Bridgeworth products, and they told me a funny story. So they used to actually live at one point in time, and he told me they used to live in Taiwan. So while they lived in Taiwan, they had 3 pets. They had a dog, a cat, and a bird. And they said all of them, the bird was the smartest one. They said that the cat would actually open up the door for the dog because their doors had like a lever handle on it. So the cat would jump up and open the door when the dog wanted out. And then the bird would boss the dog around. It was just a funny story to hear him talk. So it's memories like that, it's sad, that, they passed away, but, they started this company, and the company is now being run by the son. So it's just
mm-hmm.
Yeah, they moved. Well, they moved too. They're not.
They're not,
I guess
right.
Because the son's in a different location too.
Yeah, California, I think, or Nevada, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were manufacturing in California, correct?
They are now.
One time.
I think that's where they are now.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have basically, there you go. So aristo-craft, who was originally weren't they a sponsor, or they sponsored the show, or how'd that go down?
So aristo-craft started the show. They wanted to do something here on the East Coast instead of everybody having to go to the West Coast. And so that's how the show actually initially got started.
So there was a show on the West Coast before the East Coast show started?
Well, a lot of the big shows were out West.
Okay.
Yeah,
It wasn't
Queen
much
Mary.
for us. Right, the Queen Mary and all that. He wanted a Queen Mary kind of theme on the East Coast.
Yeah, now it seems like most of the shows are on the East Coast.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's how it got started. Was everybody was complaining about traveling all the way out there, and what could we do to do something out this way? And he said, like, let's do something, and he did. Lewis was great about that kind of stuff, and it was great when we used to have Lewis come to our store and do open houses. So we were one of the first ones to get that started, having Lewis come out and do open houses, and he would was actually, if anybody's got a moment. So your flat car with a caboose on that, if you ever look at the pictures in the magazine, that was our prototype. The benches, the wheels, he would grab it from us and mass produce them in the way he wanted them. But those were old JB wheels that he would buy from us. And then he would fix them the way he wanted. And that's where the metal wheels came from, was because he was at our store and saw us selling those things, and he bought those. And then he saw some benches. He bought the benches and things like that. So that Searchlight car was, if you ever look at the photos, you'll see it's wood and you can see a little bit of the glue. That was ours. And he bought it and he goes, "Can I make these?" And we're like, "Sure." But if you look at the old catalog, that's our car in there and some other stuff. I can't remember. It's been a while. But yeah, Lewis would come out and do the show or do the open house with us. And a lot of the guys would come and he had signed their cars. And when G-Gauge was really big and strong, we'd, have food and drinks for the open house. It was all kinds of cool stuff we used to do. It was a great time. Like you said, not just from the East Coast large scale show, but just G-Gauge in general was just a fast growing big family that was constantly growing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I never go to buy anything. I go to see people, but I always come home with stuff.
It just follows you home, right?
Yeah.
Now there were also people who specifically also would go there to buy plants and for their garden railroad, and this was one of the biggest vendors that sold them right here.
Yeah, Room to Grow, and then there was another one right behind them. We bought a bunch of plants from them one year.
I ran into that guy. I told Sean I was in Timonium, and he came by the show, and it was just like we picked up from for his very last show when he said he was retiring. And he was telling me about his kids that used to help. And I said, I remember them jumping up on the boards to tear it all down. He goes, "Oh yeah, now they're all in their 20s and married." And it was just again, the show it was a big family for all of us. From the attendees to the dealers to the promoters. It was beautiful. It was great.
Then I'm not sure if you guys remember VES Enterprises.
Remember
they also sold buildings. There you go.
That's right.
So I just want to highlight, in the video for people who are just getting into G-Skill, especially that a lot of these companies that go on by or, no longer exist, or it's maybe they didn't know they existed, stuff like that. Let's see what else we got here. Since Turk Russell's aboard with us, might as well pop this in for him.
And they always did a beautiful job up front in the foyer. I mean, that was like the centerpiece. Everybody was excited to see that, especially waiting to get into the show. They could, sit there and see that, or when they're having their little lunch or snack, they could, talk to those guys and see it. And the plants were beautiful. The landscaping. I mean, the train that they did, the layout was just always beautiful.
I think everybody always was looking forward to what new thing they were going to do the next year. Like what is it going to look like this year?
Right.
Yeah, because they would always change it up, and that was the cool part. They wouldn't keep the same theme over and over. They would always change it up, and like you said, it's like wow, I can't wait to see what they do for the next year.
Right.
Yeah, I always had a lot of appreciation for what they did, but until we had Turk and Rob on the show, I really never put much thought into how much work went into that. So,
Those guys,
yeah.
those guys were fast putting it up and taking it down. I mean, they usually beat almost everybody else, and it was like it never existed. I mean, everything was off the floor. Those guys were animals.
Yeah.
And they used real, it's not like they just laid it on the floor. They used real dirt and everything.
Oh yeah, mulch. You see it coming in, you could smell it. You knew they were there. Yeah, plants. You'd smell the plants. Yeah, everything there was live, real.
It was just like walking into. It's like they cut a piece of somebody's garden railroad from outside and they brought it in.
Yeah,
It was just so cool.
I always enjoyed seeing all the different layouts, even before we started becoming part of the show. But we would always go down and just see all the layouts and hang out and have a good time, and talk to everybody, especially the hotel after.
right.
Everybody would be hanging out downstairs. It was always great.
Wire,
Yeah, so you got the Warrior Run, and I believe they were actually F scale, if I remember right.
Clem. They were what was it, like the FN30 or?
Yeah.
oh yeah,
So-
Warrior.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, they had some really nice detailed stuff.
Oh yeah, I got some wonderful footage from when they were running their layout. It's unfortunate what happened to their store because they used to sell there too at the show. Then you have Washington, Virginia, and Maryland, which was making a return to you guys, correct? Don?
Yeah, they'll be there.
Yep,
That's what he said.
Washington Club. Yep.
Do you have any clubs setting up this year, Don, or no?
He said that.
Yep. So we have the two clubs: the DC Club, the Washington Virginia Club, and
Okay.
the Pennsylvania Club, and then the live steamers, of course, out front.
Okay, wonderful.
And then, of course, one of the biggest booths that was in the back, you have USA Trains. So he was in the one corner that I remember.
You used to have USA Train, St. Aubin, and Nicholas Smith right across the back.
Right
across the
across
whole
the
back.
back.
Yep.
And unfortunately, and it'll be in my documentary, but unfortunately, St. Albans ended up going out of business. But they were a pretty large G-scale dealer. I mean, I don't know if they were the biggest, but they were pretty big.
Yeah. He had that nursery business, and then he got into trains and was one of the biggest dealers for ECLSTS.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they sold the nursery, right? Didn't they
after he passed away, I think the kids tried to keep it going for a little bit and just got out, period.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah, he passed away.
Okay.
Stomach cancer or something. I can't remember. It's been a long time, but he passed away. Charlie Rose passed away.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Then, unfortunately, one of the other vendors that I knew really well, Rolling Stock, who displayed quite often at the show as well. Danny.
Yeah, he passed.
Nope.
Sean used the wrong tab again, I think.
Got him all excited. I don't know which ones he's hitting.
He ejected himself.
It keeps going into the wrong tab. It puts
it's the computer's fault, right?
well, it doesn't help that I'm actually using a
Computer.
my pad. Yeah, my pad. Hold on here. Share screen.
Yeah, I think Dan, he helped get the show down to Atlanta for the or North Carolina, I think, whenever the G-Gauge convention was. Yeah. But he would go to all the shows too. Buying up stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got the shared screen up there. So Rolling Stock played. He was came to the shows quite a bit and would sell with Chief. There you go. But unfortunately, another vendor who passed away, but that'll be in the documentary. Let me put a couple other ones in here.
I remember those stacks of trains.
Yeah.
You guys used to do that too.
Yeah, we started that, but I was just telling Sarah off the side, and I was like, yeah, that was one of the things we started there too. Yeah, and everybody else started doing the same thing. We've been doing it for a long time.
And of course, somebody wants the car at the bottom of the stack.
Yep.
Actually, that was no problem. Actually, when you do it that way, it's very easy to take it out when you set it that way, believe it or not. Easier than any other way. But yes. Yep.
Then we have a bridge manufacturer. I don't know if you guys remember them.
I do.
Bridges, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll
That's
pop up.
nice bridges.
There you go.
Yep, look at that. I think we have a customer who has a restaurant on the Eastern Shore somewhere. He bought one of those bridges and it was across the pond. He made it like look, quote unquote, the Bay Bridge. And then he had trains.
Wow.
Yeah. He sold the business, I think, but the new owners, I think they still have it out. Yep.
And then you got to see unique things being offered as well. And I'll give you an example here. So there's an actual intermodal piece that was being offered by Eagle Wings Ironworks, which they don't sell anymore, but it would be a great piece to go with the intermodal cars that are now going to be offered by USA Trains. So I'm not sure what it was, if it was the cost or it didn't seem to be a good seller. One of my favorite scenes from the Southeastern Pennsylvania Garden Railway Society was right here.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah. So the guy who made the scene was only in the club for a couple years, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but this was part of his module, and I always enjoyed that part of the module. This car show at the mall scene, it was it was great.
They also had the drive-in they did.
Yes. Yeah, the drive-in. Yeah, that was another one.
Yeah, that's gorgeous, isn't it?
They had one of the, I mean, this is going back a ways, but, you know, they had the DVD player, you know, like the kids' DVD player.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Mounted,
yeah.
You know, because back then that was like the cheapest way to do it. And they had that sitting behind the you know, faux screen. And
right.
Like it was a projected.
And you know, everybody remembers Aristocraft had the camera system that you could buy and mount into the trains, you know, so that was great. And I think one of the clubs
I don't remember that.
had it on that DVD player thing showing the train running around.
We did that a couple of years too. Mm-hmm. We had it actually on the train while it was running around.
That was a great system they came out with. That was years and years ago.
Wow. And then, of course, you see prototypes and demos that never ever seem to come into production.
Right.
So here we are. USA Trains had announced in early 2009 a two-bay center flow, which would have been a great idea, but for some reason it just never came to be.
Right.
But it was a cool idea.
I see plenty of people cutting them down though to make their own.
Vinny does it all the time with the LGBs.
I think Vinny does that stuff in his sleep.
He's made some nice pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure. Then let's see what else we got here. Then we have, I don't know if you guys remember this person, Kern Valley.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And these photos are all throughout the years that I've been, you know, I got, like I said, I can't go through all of them because we don't have that kind of time, but it's just wonderful vendors. And here we go. Speaking of prototypes, I just found this photo. So that was that's the Aristocraft ore car that never came to be as well.
Can you email that to me?
This picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can email that to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I'll email any of these pictures you want.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah. Or if you have any Speedo pics of Larry Otis, we'll take those too.
I've got my own. I don't need his.
And speaking of the BTO, as Andrew mentioned, their show coming up, but they would attend the event as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So here you go. This is the BTO during one of the years.
You were there last year, right?
And Garden Railways too. They were there.
Yep, Garden Railways. And I'll do this one here. So are these people still around? Do you know?
Dolly's.
Dally
Yeah.
is. Dally is. Yeah. He's not making that much in G Gauge anymore. Because I reached out to him, I think, 2 years ago. I had some questions about some product, and yeah, he's not doing much shows. I think he's selling online. I don't think he's making G Gauge stuff anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't hear it from Phoenix Sound System guys anymore either. So I don't know.
They're out. They're done.
Are they done?
Yep.
Yeah. So
That's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the Dally website, I see they offer an automatic turntable indexer unit now. So it looks like they're doing different things as well.
Right. Because Dally was in with aristo-craft for a while. That was making their stuff.
Yeah,
oh, really?
Yeah, they were selling the sound systems to plug right in.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, you may remember this vendor.
Pico.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was that actually Pico or was that someone else?
There's a guy I think on Jersey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can't remember his name. Dad would.
I always thought it was Pico for the longest time, and then not too long ago I realized that it was somebody else coming in that sold Pico, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they had a pretty big area themselves, actually.
Yeah, because I think Renee made it out a couple times. The owner of Pico made it out a couple of years in a row.
And then you have Shaw Car Shops.
Question, Sean.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any photographs of the dioramas? In particular, he's looking for Craig Zenners. Craig won an award every time he entered the model contest.
I have pictures of some of the model contest stuff. I do have a couple diorama photos, which are not in a current folder I'm showing to all you guys, but I wouldn't know because I didn't take a photo of the actual card which shows the owner's name.
Yeah.
I would need a good explanation of what he built in order to find, if I got a photo of that or not.
It was very sawmill related. He built a lot of like that sawmill kind of.
Okay. Yeah, I would have to go back and look into my folders because I created this folder that I'm going through right now just for this show.
Yep.
I have other folders set up for my actual documentary when I get started for it. And again, for anybody who wishes to, donate photos or even videos, I'll make sure that, you get proper credit for it in the video. And thank you for it. Really appreciate, anybody's help in creating this documentary because I think it's important that we celebrate the show just in the memories of the people who passed away. I mean, we lost a lot of people. For example, you guys may remember the Delaware Large Scalers Club. It was started by a member called by the name of Keith Heck. And unfortunately, Keith had passed away. His son, tried to keep the club going, but he's got a full-time career now as a firefighter. But I believe the layout is set up at an airport hangar, an antique airport hangar, and I can't remember the name of it currently. And another one that's you guys may remember, Nicholas Smith, as Nico mentioned, was on the opposite side corner of USA Trains.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Nicholas Smith.
Yeah, his daughter is running the business now.
Yeah, I heard Chris is in bad shape, and it's a shame. But like you said, we're all getting older. People passing away. We lost people. People retired. And I just want the current G scale people to know what it was like, and they may not know what half the stuff was available at one time.
When I think of East Coast, I think of Nicholas Smith, because the very first show I went to, my friend said, "Just stick with me." He goes, "We'll get through." He goes, "We'll, almost like laser precision. We'll get through here." And the first place we went into was the Nicholas Smith booth. He ran up, put his stuff down, pulled the cash out, threw it down, put my stuff down, pulled out my credit card, and he goes, "You didn't bring any cash?" He was gone. I didn't see him until like 3:00 that afternoon. He just left me. After that, I brought cash.
And we can't leave Don out. So
thank you. Yep.
Cannot leave him out. So Star Hobbies always had a pretty large booth themselves, as he mentioned. You would see stacks. They started stacking their trains as well.
I kicked myself the first couple of years I went. Like, you had one or two of the consolidations, not the Delton, but the Aristo ones, for a decent price, sitting in your stuff each year. And each year I kept saying, I should buy one of those. I should buy one of those. Try and find one now for a decent price.
Right. Well, I remember Ridge Station, I think they were called.
Ridge Road Station.
Yeah, and I think they sold it off, but
no, he just closed.
Oh, did he just close?
Yeah.
They bought 3 K27s. We just happened to have some in the store, and we brought them, and he just paid us because I'll take the 3. He didn't ask for a discount as a dealer. He's like, I want those 3. And then later on, we found out what they were going for. So we would just sell the stuff. We really didn't, as most people know, we don't really change our prices to whatever the other things are going with. We've always just kept moving the product. At those shows, we used to bring between 100 and 200 cases of wheels, and almost every time sold out.
Wow.
And some of you guys will probably say, I remember the days when they were only like $50, $65. It's not true to today, but everything's expensive. That's just the cost of everything. But we've always tried to keep the prices down, and we would bring over 100 plus cases, and sometimes we'd have to go back to the store and bring more just because we sold out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure from my first East Coast show to seeing you up in Cleveland, I've probably bought like 20 cases of those wheels off of you over the years.
Right, just sold to you last
week. The first East Coast show I went to, I remember Train World.
Yes.
Charlie Rowe, you guys, everybody ran back to their stores. Charlie Rowe had a guy drive all the way back to Massachusetts and back because they sold out so much the first day they had to get more stuff.
Yep. And touching on the show, if I don't know if a lot of you remember, the show used to be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday show.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Interesting.
Yep. So it was you set up Thursday and you sold for a couple hours Thursday night, and then it was Friday and closed early on Saturday.
No, you forgot Sunday.
Oh, that's right. It was a Sunday. That's right.
The first one I went to was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They may have been selling Thursday night, but we got there Thursday nights.
Yeah. So Thursday was a setup, and then it was like 5 to 7 or 5 to 8 or something like that. It was a long day. But those were the times when, there was so much cool things to be selling and to be looking at. And, you needed all that time.
Yep. I remember that. And speaking of Train World, you guys may remember this oddity right here. So Train World was actually selling the Aristo Class 66 European locomotives.
I just mentioned that to a couple people this weekend that are into European stuff, and specifically not American stuff, but they're like, what is this? We never heard of it. And I'm like, really? I'm like, if I remember correctly too, the one I've seen, like, those are longer than a -9.
Oh yeah, they were pretty big.
And they also made single stack containers cars for those too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny, they say distributed through Bachmann.
Really?
Yep. On the container cars. On the box. So it was distributed through Bachmann UK.
Right.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Right.
Yeah. So it's funny.
Yeah, that is kind of weird how that's but here you go. Throwing another one here.
Did you happen to see in the chat here, Ray Jacobson asked, whatever happened to just plain folk?
He passed
Oh, yeah,
away.
I remember him.
Oh,
He passed away.
okay.
I think he had really bad diabetes or something, lost his legs, and then after that, he passed away. So every once in a while, we think so. His stuff was in storage and went to auction, and someone bought it because you'll still see it on eBay. But he is, I believe, is true. Last I heard, he did pass away. Yeah. So there's no more just plain folk. He passed away also. But you will see his stuff on eBay, and that's because someone got his inventory.
Yeah, speaking of people who passed away, so here we have people may remember Stan Cedarleaf. He created
Decal guy, yep.
Yep. Another great guy. I wish he was still alive, but I thanked him back then. Stan was the one who actually gave me a lot of tips on camera work because I didn't ever knew this. He was actually a professional wedding photographer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Before he got into doing decals, that's what he actually did. So it was, his tips, his, telling me how to use the camera and stuff that made me get a lot better at what I was doing in the beginning. So
you're going to start listening to those tips anytime soon? Or? I'm just busting your chops.
Yeah, it's fine. And then we have, I know it's kind of tough outside, but, you hardly see anybody using signals outdoors. I don't know if they're meant for outside, but that's one thing you don't see a lot of.
So many companies have come and gone trying to do that. And I don't know. I mean, you would think they would sell great, but maybe they're not. I don't know.
Sometimes I wonder if it just has to do with, putting that stuff outside, I mean, it can be a harsh environment out there.
Well, especially with layouts on the ground, like stuff like that, you don't even see it, and you kick it right off, right off the pedestal.
Yeah, I can see that. And then we have, I plop this in here. The train department.
Yeah, he's still going.
Is he?
Jay, yeah.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was at one of the shows like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
At your guys' show, and when it was on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I always wondered, if some of these people were still around, not around.
Yep.
But like for example, this guy here.
Right, Bob Clark. Yeah, Bob Clark. I haven't heard from him in a while.
It's then you have.
Do we want to do a giveaway before we go on to the next?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
I got to set that up. Imagine that. I'm not ahead on that.
Oh, geez.
I don't know. Hey, Sean, I'm not sure if he's in one of the pictures. You also had that one guy who would come from like Arizona, and he just did all the ball bearing trucks. He would have one booth. He'd fly in for the day or for the 2 days and then fly out. And he would do that. He was right by us for a long time. I think,
Yeah.
There was so many cool guys that had just so cool things that people were thinking of that, was being sold.
Oh, yeah.
I go back through the old Garden Railways, and it's just like, I remember that company. Oh, I remember that company. Oh, I remember it. Like, they're all gone.
And I think someone mentioned about the Garden magazine. There is an annual that they do, but that's it. And that it's, to keep that even halfway decent, it's only done once a year now. So there is no Garden Railway magazine per se, but there's an annual.
It's terrible because if it wasn't for that magazine, I would have never known about this show. That's how I found that show so many years ago in 2007, because I got into G-Scale in 2000, but it wasn't until 2007 I picked up the Garden Railways magazine. I'm like, wow, there's a train show dedicated to this?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the other one that I just sent in a thing for advertisement?
Remind me, what are we giving away, Donna and Sarah?
Free ticket to the show, 2 days.
Free 2-day ticket?
Yes.
Okay. Give me 1 second here.
I'm trying to find who I just mailed money to.
It was me. Now the shows were, I mean, and the magazines help for everything, and you just don't see them as much, or they're going to every other month or every 3 months kind of thing.
Well, there's a bi-monthly one that's online.
Okay.
What is it? Garden Railway News.
Okay.
I believe it is.
Okay.
I just put an ad in with them, but yeah, there is one Garden Railway News. It's online, but if you call them or email them, they'll actually, you pay and they'll send you a copy.
That's good.
Like a printed copy, but.
All right. I've got that up there for people who would like to enter the giveaway for a 2-day pass to the East Coast Large Scale Train Show. Just put #star in the chat.
You know, and then when Lewis decided to get out of the show and close their doors, we took the show over financially, and Harry was running the show, and we would just be the backers of it. So we've been running the show for a long time, keeping it going, you know, and without a corporate sponsor, so to speak, or a manufacturer, it's always been hard. But as you can see from other shows, it's just getting less and less of people to be able to get to come to the shows.
Right.
So we've always been trying to keep it going. Yeah, even the Train Engine Revolution kept going for a little while, as long as they could.
They're still going.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake Kim's still going.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
He just released another sound file for Alcos.
Woo! I've been waiting for that Alco file for a while.
I'm glad you said something. That's good.
I know that because I'm in one of his dealers, but that's still.
All right.
But
good.
I email him, you know, pretty consistently because I'm always buying stuff from him and
Yeah, and like the
bothering him.
The Bachmann -9s when they came out weren't completely compatible with the way the Revos were, because Bachmann made the socket more advanced than what it had been in the past, and
Right.
Revo actually made a was it a piggyback adapter board, right,
Yep.
Nico, that dropped in there, and then you plug the board in and it would fix that.
Yep.
Okay.
Make all
Good.
the lights work. Yeah, because the lights weren't working. Yeah,
How
he
about-
jumped. Go ahead.
How about this GSI? Are they still?
I don't think
Oh,
so.
no. Yeah.
Then you have another battery-powered company here.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, they're gone now. I know that.
Now, at the East Coast Large Scale Train Show, they would also have, and Don may remember this, a fundraiser. So they would take in donations, and I'm trying to remember the guy's name who actually ran that table.
Nick
Nick,
Arian.
there you go. That was him, and he would take these donations, and it would be for the NCMEC.
Yeah, we always called it. Well, he called them orphan trains. So people would just pick up a
Right.
train that they didn't want anymore or whatever, and like donate it, and then he would take all that money. And then he would donate to this fundraiser.
And as you guys mentioned, just plain folk, I did run into a picture.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. John Schneider. Yep. He had some cool figures.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seemed like he was always coming up with new stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite scenes on the Southeastern Pennsylvania Garden Railway Society, besides that mall, was this house with a Z-scale train being shown as a G-scale train in the backyard. That was kind of cool.
Right.
So when you went to these shows, even the other layouts would do things differently.
You're right.
And you would always see something different from them. And I remember one, you got the show also did show cars. So here's the show cars for the 1 year, the Winchester and Western.
Mm-hmm.
And the Winchester and Western, one of their yards is right here in my backyard.
Oh, okay.
They are actually here in Jersey and also, I believe, in West Virginia. Virginia or West Virginia. But they have two terminals.
I believe it was a short line that had two different pieces. They had a piece in New Jersey and a piece in like West Virginia, but they didn't have anything that connected the two pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was nobody connecting them, right? It's kind of weird. But on another note, the Winchester and Western, for those who don't know, was actually bought out by Omnitrax 2 or 3 years ago. So they're just one of many short lines that Omnitrax had gobbled up. Now it still has the Winchester and Western road names on the stuff, but I haven't seen them run these yellow hopper cars in a long time. So I don't know what happened to them.
Well,
Here you go.
The year those were made, they're probably not even allowed on the tracks anymore.
Yeah. I mean, aristo-craft had a pretty big table area as well.
Right.
Yeah, they were always front and center as soon as you walked in the door.
Their show.
Yeah.
Man, Lewis used to sit there with Navin and the other guy from
JP.
Yeah. They all used to sit up front, remember, right behind the table and ask questions and prototypes. And that was always nice. You know, you had it. They're always personable. You could ask them questions. You may not get the right answer or the answer you wanted, but you could talk to them. They took suggestions or stuff like that. I used to love the barrel track for the
yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
31 inch. They did a 24 inch and 31 inch circle.
I've got one.
And since Nico mentioned St. Alban, here's a picture of their. So St. Albans Trains was in between USA Trains and Nicholas Smith on the back wall.
Yep.
I remember the salesman's name was Pat, who sold the trains for St. Albans. Great guy to talk to, actually. I bought a lot of my stuff from St. Albans back in the day. It was unfortunate that they closed up because, they really had some good deals.
Just to mention everybody, I'm going to close out the submissions for the giveaway here in another moment. So if you're still trying to figure out how to type it in or get your hashtag star in there.
That was true. They were trying to, Aristo-Craft was trying to have the Midwestern show, right? The Eastern show. They were trying to have like a show in every corner of the United States.
Right.
QSI is no longer around, correct?
No, I think after the lawsuits, no, I don't think so either.
Yeah. I bought one engine with one of their sound systems in it, but it was they did the DCC, so.
Oh, okay.
Question for you there, Nico.
Who was the guy I purchased a Yodeler from? Well, one of the LGB engines, Yodels. So when you walked into the old York show, you guys had the booth on the right for the clinics. And then right after the clinic booth, there was a guy right there. He was right behind Just Plain Folk.
Okay.
It was an older gentleman. I don't remember his name either.
All right. For those of you who have been to the shows in the past, I need your help on this photo here. I can't remember for the life of me.
That's a Connecticut club.
Thank you very much. I'm looking at that. And that photo is from way back. Let me look at my notes. 2009. And the Connecticut Club was there for, I don't know how long, a couple years, 2 or 3 years, or.
I don't remember.
We took over. Well, we filled in for them in 2010, and we were only supposed to be there 1 year. And then they never came back, so we were there. We took their place. We kicked Larry Otis to the curb.
Kicked Larry Otis to the curb.
And watch on the sidelines.
Eagle Wings Ironworks also offered buildings as well.
All right. Well, I'm going to put up the giveaway here now. I think most people have gotten their hashtags in now, and we're going to see who's going to win.
All right.
Not Nico, because he gets robbed, as Sean always like to say. So let's see who's going to be our winner tonight. Not Nico.
It's not going to be Nico.
Nico's always the winner because he gets to do the show with me. And
hey, Talmadge.
Oh, good. You know who that is?
Yes.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm not sure how to say the second part.
We should have let Sean pronounce it.
John, go ahead.
I would have totally wrecked that man. You guys know I'm a name wrecker from way back.
Nice. Congratulations.
Well, since you know them, if they want to send you their info to forward on to Don and Sarah, they can do that, Nico.
I can do that.
I'm assuming they have your contact info, correct?
If not, I'll be at the ticket booth. Just I have your name written down, so just say you're the winner, and I'll get your wristband.
Okay, wonderful.
There'll probably be 20 people.
If I have to, I'll check ID.
That's a unique name. I didn't realize you guys were all coming to the train show.
I'm. So is there anything else you want to add about the East Coast show, Don and Sarah, before we move on to LEDs 101?
I think on our part, I think we're just excited to be on the show again and talk about the show and just reliving, the great times that we had. And I think someone asked about how do we bring it back? That's a great question. I don't know. Besides having new product to offer and get people back into the hobby. Just as you saw as we were going down, of all the people, it's just there's not as many vendors or manufacturers or anything like that to, entice us, I guess.
Because I remember you guys would fill up the whole entire Memorial Hall building. There was not a space to be had anywhere.
Yep.
And looking
From the
at
clubs to the dealers.
Yeah. I mean, even a lot of, clubs can't do it anymore that used to do it. As you mentioned, vendors have retired or passed away or there was a couple businesses that sold and still continue, but how much of it is actually, still around?
Well, and the market's changed, for the selling points.
Yeah, some of the people just don't want to travel anymore either. They're they're getting older. They can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we even had to start, the walk-in traffic for our store alone is down. So we started selling online more. That we've always prided ourselves of personal service coming into the store or seeing us at shows or doing a show. But now it's, we have to start selling online too. And it's the way it is.
Yeah.
Well, there was a bunch of people that sold sound systems. There was Dali and there was usually Phoenix.
Those were the two. Further down, though, he said they were like farm sounds, chickens and cows.
Ram had it, and there was that other guy.
Yeah, Ram.
There was a guy down in Miami, somewhere in Florida that was doing them.
He's gone too.
Yeah, he passed away. But his wife had some stuff and just didn't know how to deal with this stuff. But there were great boards. You just dropped them into the cars, and as the movement went, that's how they got triggered. It was awesome. Yeah. It was simple too. It was simple.
They mood or sheep or whatever you want.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
Somebody's asking about Garden Metal models. Are they still around?
No. They made the bridges, the Garden Metal model bridges.
Yeah.
Oh, like the girder bridges and that?
Yep, they got they had some business issues. I'll just leave it that way. Not from their side, from who they outsourced to.
Hey, here's what we like to hear. Andrew B says, "Can't wait for the show. Looking to empty my wallet."
There you go.
Yep, me too.
Good.
Just open it up and dump it out at the
door. Right.
Yeah, if anyone wants to pre-buy tickets to the show, I have a link on the website and should be on Facebook as well. If not, we can sell tickets at the door as well.
Well, we're coming up on Saturday, and it looks like I'll be bringing Talmadge with me now because he needs a ride.
Only Talmadge gets in free, not you, Nico.
No.
He's like,
I gladly pay.
Well, great. Again, thank you for having us. It was always great to see you guys and talk about the hobby and the show itself. So, and it was neat to see all the old dealers and stuff like that, and the old clubs. Like you said, a lot of clubs are not around anymore. A lot of them are too old to do the shows and travel.
Yep.
It was good to see them again and see their layouts, and yeah, it was just nice.
It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just a taste of what you can expect from the documentary video.
I can't wait. Excited. I'm glad you're doing that for everybody. I think it's very special because it was, like you said, it was a family. It was everybody getting together who haven't seen each other or see each other only at the shows, and everybody at that big hotel. Everybody would get together downstairs and just talk about the stuff they bought or what they want, their plans of building their new layouts outside. The excitement that was there, So yeah, that was nice.
Thanks.
Thank you guys, and we hope next year again. If you want to promote it, you're more than welcome to come back on and let's do it again.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Absolutely.
It was good to see you at the show too.
And
we'll see you on Saturday. I'll definitely be there Saturday, and
let other people know that they can also run into you at a bunch of other shows because you're still traveling around to all of them.
Yeah, Mom and Dad will be in Denver next week for that big show. We'll be at our show, of course. We'll be at York, and we'll be at the Springfield show too. So
very nice.
Again, it's about supporting the hobby and staying in the business. So
wonderful.
We will definitely be up at the other show as well, the Northeast show. We'll see you then.
God, I'm not looking forward to that drive. 4.5 to Cincinnati one way about got me this weekend. That's like 8.5.
It's 11 for us. So
right.
I'm not sure you're not taking the train this year either.
What? Yeah, and I got a trailer. I'm pulling a trailer too. Yeah.
And that traffic through Jersey and New York, once you get out of that,
I go around it.
Oh, you go around
it? Yeah, I don't go up 95.
I plow through it. I just say, "What the hell? Let's just do it."
No, I go up. I go up through 81. Go up that way.
Yeah. Keep it exciting. Good.
Don't forget, you got to pay me too, Chris.
Oh, good. See you there.
Larry Otis said something about not threatening people, Nico.
Don't threaten them. That I'll be there.
Right.
Sorry. Don't forget, I'll be up in your neck of the woods too.
Did stop at your house, Kyle? Wait, did I do that last year? Yeah, probably. I'm trying to think in my mind which way that route takes me. Yeah, we can do that, Kyle.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being on with us. We really appreciate it. And
thank you. Hope we didn't run over. But it was fun and exciting. So
we won't blame you. We'll blame Sean.
All right. Works for me.
We'll take it out on him after you leave. Don't worry.
All right. Great. Well, thank you, everybody. This is always a pleasure. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll see you on Saturday next week.
We'll see
you. Sounds good.
Week.
See you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Right. Have a good
one.
Bye, Don, Sarah.
Bye. Thank you.
All right. So, do we want to jump into LEDs 101?
I think Sean's more of an incandescent kind of guy. Absolutely. I'm ready to learn because
all right. So
I was trying to do some LED stuff the other day, and I'm just completely baffled by
So let me stop this one because I had that one. Stop that one. I'm gonna start. So obviously, most of the engines that we all now get these days all have LEDs in them instead of the old incandescent bulbs, which were regular filament bulbs like we're all used to. So let me share this. So this is just a smattering. Why didn't it go? Share. There you go. You see that now?
Yes.
So LEDs come in all different shapes and sizes, and obviously all different colors. You could have clear ones that are red, green, blue. You can have yellow ones that are yellow. You can have all different shapes and sizes, and they make them to fit all different options that you want to do. Most of the ones that are in our trains are the 3mm and 5mm. So that little guy there is a 3 millimeter, and that is a 5 millimeter. So if I hold the two up, you can see the difference. So these are domed head, and then they also sell them, they call them like top hats. As you can see, the top's flat on that. Doesn't have anything on top. So you can obviously get them all different colors, different shapes, different sizes for what you need. I even buy some of the trains. I'll show you these guys.
I didn't know they made flat top ones.
See, you learned something already.
Absolutely.
I want to just show people that that is an LED.
Do you want to hang on? How's that?
Maybe that'd be better. But see that little dot on the end?
Yeah.
That's an LED.
I just see a pinhead.
I'm ignoring you.
It was worth the cheap joke.
At least mine's still thin and pointy and not round and potato-like.
Right, potato-like.
Potato.
So basically what I have here is just a generic power supply. I'm going to switch cameras here.
Katie Rail Stratton asked, what are the 3 millimeter amber colored walkway LEDs on the Dash 9s?
What are the what?
You see it at the bottom there?
What are the 3 amber colored walkway LEDs? Yeah, they're just amber, regular amber LEDs. They're probably, I believe they're a 3 millimeter, if I remember correctly, which is that one. And they're just glued in from the back.
I'm glad to hear I have fans. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Tom.
I'm trying to teach people something here, and that's what they get. So now I'm going to go. Let's see. Present. Nope. I want to go to this, and I want to switch my camera. There you go.
Is this what it feels like when you're waiting for me to do stuff?
Yes. Exactly. Can you switch that one over to the center there, and we can get rid of this?
Yeah.
So as you can see, I got 24 volts. I don't know which way to turn it. Camera's kind of sideways there. 24.5 volts coming out of a power supply. So basically, an LED wants to run on like 3.5 volts. So when you go to buy your LEDs, you'll go to a website like DigiKey or whatever electronics store you want to buy, and then on that card or whatever you buy will have information on it regarding what type of LEDs they are. This one doesn't have it, but the amperage that it draws, all that key information. So if I would take an LED, you want me to blow up an LED for you guys?
I'm
not
quite sure what you're asking. Like blow up like a big picture, or blow up like destroy it?
Like destroy it. So some people get nervous with LEDs because they don't know what to do, right? They're like, well, what happens if I do something wrong? It's gonna flash, and that's it, and it's done. So in a flash, it's broken, and it's not good anymore, and you can't use it. So I'll really quickly show you that just so you could see what really happens. So, people don't get worried about what happens. Because some people are like, well, am I going to short out my electronics? What's going to happen? It's just going to flash and die.
Oh.
So let me grab an LED here. I'll just use this one. So on an LED, I'll just show people this too. So on an LED, there's a long stem and a short stem. I'm trying to show it. So you can see this guy's a little longer and that guy's a little shorter.
If you hold it further closer to the countertop, it might come better into focus.
Yeah, the countertop's really not conducive to.
Yeah, you need a contrast behind it.
Hold on. Is that better?
Hey, there we go. That's better.
All right, so you can see that one tail's longer and one shorter. So that's an anode and a cathode. Anode and cathode basically just means is positive and negative. So your long leg is always your positive, and your short leg is your negative when you're just dealing with an LED like this.
So which is which, anode and cathode?
You want me to remember? Cathode is positive, anode is negative. So green for negative, and we're going to put white on positive, and we're going to crank this sucker up 24 volts. You're going to see it flash, and that's it. Boom.
Yeah.
You see that?
Berger said to get the fire extinguisher, by the way.
Uh-huh. I'll remember that next time you ask questions. So that's garbage now. So what I usually do, because most of the stuff I do is Revo based, I use a 1K 1 watt resistor. So I buy them in bags of like 200, 500, 1,000 because I use so many of them.
A 1K watt?
It's a 1K resistor, and it's 1 watt.
Ah, what?
Exactly. So I'm going to put one of those in line. Now, it doesn't matter if it's on the negative or the positive side.
All right,
So,
Nico put me in line when he sees me at the end of April.
You're going to get more put in line. Swift kick comes to mind. All right, so I'm going to grab another LED. So now I have that resistor in line. So I'll just show you over here. You see the resistors right there in line. Now we'll go back over here. I'm going to kill the power, and I'll hook up the positive and negative again. Now, if all goes well and Andrew doesn't jinx me, we're going to have constant light. Andrew, stare right into the camera for a second.
Well, you're using a UV LED? Melt my retinas?
I was going to use one that regrows hair, but. So,
Berger asked, do you need the resistor when you come out of a decoder too?
So a decoder is putting out 5 volts. We'll get into that in a second.
Ah, okay.
So this is putting out 12 volts with this resistor, the 1K resistor. That drops it down to 3.5 volts on the end, and you can see the lights shining. So because I do 24 volts, I can do stuff that, like, I could do series, parallel, because I have a little more horsepower than most people have, because you're using 24 volts. When you get down to that 5 volts, like some of these other systems are putting out, that's the wrong LED. You have a tougher time doing things in series. So what I mean by series and parallel, when you just connect another one in there, if I would go in and just put this one right on top of that one, it's going to light up, and this is in parallel. All right, there you go. See? So I can have 2 in parallel. I'm just not touching it good. And they're both lit up, right? Or you could do them in series. What series mean is you're connecting the positive to the negative to the positive to the negative. So on this one, on this side, I'm connected to the negative. So I'm going to connect this positive from this one with the yellow wire to this negative, and then I'm going to connect that negative over here, and now they both lit up. So right now that's called series, where you're running one into another, into another, into another. So with 24 volts, I can do this pretty easily because I have enough voltage. Basically, I have enough horsepower. I have 24 volts. When you try and do this with a 5 volt, then you start running into issues, and it's better to run them in parallel. So when you use series, you need more power, basically. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody.
Well, when you do them in series, though, like if you have enough LEDs in series, could you possibly not need a resistor then?
Well, you can drop the resistor.
Okay.
So Like I said, in 24 volts, I have enough power. I could easily do probably like 6 resistors, and you'll see barely any change in the LEDs. I mean, I could do 6 LEDs, and you'll see barely any change in the light.
Good question from
Yep.
Wigwag asking, like Christmas lights, if one goes out, do they all go out? I have to imagine in series, if one LED burns out, it's just interrupted the whole chain, right?
No. All right. You want to see what happens? So here's the one I blew from before, right? I'm going to take this one out. One goes out, they all go out.
And of course, with LEDs being one direction, obviously if they put one in backwards, they're also not going to work.
Right, because it is a diode. So, but again, we're not using these lights like, the amount of hours that these lights can handle.
Actually, that's a good question. I've never really thought about that. Like, how long is an LED good for, the ones we're using for this stuff?
Thousands of hours.
So you put LEDs in your GP30, you probably never have to worry about replacing the bulbs in it, I'm guessing then.
Not unless you run it all day, every day. I mean, there are bulbs that go bad.
Oh.
It does happen. I mean, I've, taken them right out of the bag and go to wire it up.
That's actually some good info from Joseph Lipinski. He's doing that on a Aristo dining car because the table lights are all wired in series.
Yep.
I didn't realize that. So okay. If I come across one that none of those are working, that's a good place to start.
Right. So there's places that you can go online. So I'm going to switch back here, stop sharing this, and we're going to share. Oh, why didn't it stop sharing? Stop screen. There we go. Present.
Well, you're doing good so far. You haven't kicked yourself out like Sean has.
Sorry. I'll try to do better next time. So we want to do. So let me know if you can see that.
Yep, I see it.
Okay. So parallel and series calculators, you can go online and find these all over the place. This gives you your voltage rating for the.
What's the site you're on there?
This is 320volt.com.
320volt.com.
So, this is the diagram. This shows you the anodes positive, cathodes negative. So basically, once you start looking into this, you can start putting in your voltages, your milliamps, and it will tell you what resistance you need, how many ohms, how many watts. So they have it for single, and then you could do it for, series or parallel, and you could change the number of LEDs, and this will give you a calculator of what you need.
Berger was asking what the recommendation is, building a wiring hub and single thread to various LEDs.
Well, that's if you're doing them in parallel. So that would be this scenario down here. So we're feeding out. So when you do it in parallel, it takes more wire, right? So because you can't daisy chain one to the next, everything has to come from the same hub.
The thing I was trying to do, because it seemed to make sense to me, was like, I'm putting an LED in each spot for like the headlight and the rear light on a GP30. And rather than 4 wires, I figured I could just do the 2 LEDs in series and run 2 wires to each end.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, that's what I usually do. Unless
you're
you're doing something that like somebody wants, like a wigwag or something like that. If you're using the Rail Pro, you have to independently control them, so they have to be separated. But if you're using just a dual headlight, this scenario will work fine, and you could just do it that way. So again, with the Revo, it's putting out 24 volts, so you have enough power to do this. When you drop.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you need to figure out how much resistance you have with your whatever LED they're having there. I don't know what LED they have in that car. Right off.
Well, and that's actually a good point too. Like the different LEDs all have different values, right?
Correct. That's what I was saying. You need to look up what value your LED has in order to be able to figure out how many ohms, because there's different, like I was showing on that one website, there's different values even just for the different colors.
Wow.
So now one other thing I like to use is I'll use a bi-color LED. Don't get excited, Andrew. I'm not talking about that.
Brian Dunn says if you have a 5-volt output, you cannot series connect LEDs on the output.
Yep, because you need that more horsepower. So you're better off not doing that. You're better off doing it in parallel. So this is an LED that I use a lot of times in older, when people want their marker lights. So I don't know if you could see that. That's red.
Is that just a 2-leg or a 3-leg LED?
It's a 2-leg, right? But watch this. What I do is if I switch it and make the positive negative and the negative positive, what happens?
Yeah, I actually just discovered those myself a few weeks back. I thought you always had to use the 3-leg ones.
No, well, you can use the 3-leg ones also, but these will change colors. So depending on which way the motor, so I usually hook these up to the motor output, right? So now I could hook these up to the motor output, and I can have the front going red, and they're reversed on the backside, and they're going, they're going green in the front. So your front lights are green, your back lights are red. So I could show that by just doing this, all right? Just by reversing polarity. I have two same LEDs, different colors. So this would be your front lights. That would be your back lights. As soon as your polarity switches, your fronts are now red and your backs are green. So depending on the direction of the locomotive. So that's an easy way to do it. What most of the manufacturers do is what you said. They have a 3-leg, like this guy.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is switching the negative on the outside. No, the positive on the outside, sorry.
Well,
negative is the center.
The 3-legs come in 2 versions too, right? Where there's a common positive or a common negative.
Right. So you can get those to use that as well, where you can.
That really messed me up when I didn't realize that. I feel like Brian Brunn's talking to me here. It says if you're lazy, there's a constant current source that removes the need to size the resistor, the CL2N3-G.
Yeah, well, what you can do is, so what I have here on the side, just because I didn't know if anybody was going to ask me like specific Rail Pro questions. Yeah. This is a 5-volt regulator. Sorry. Wrong camera. So there you go. That is just a regular 5-volt regulator. 24 volts in on this side, or any voltage in on this side comes out 5 volts on that side. So if you're using an 18.4 volt battery, you got 5 volts on this side. So what he's saying is the same thing as this, but putting out lower voltage for an LED.
I imagine the one thing with that, though, like if you have different lights going on in there, headlights, marker lights, running lights, like, you're going to have a couple of those for each different set of lights, right?
Yeah. And like I said, I buy a bag of resistors for pennies. And those other things are not pennies. They're going to be $2 or $3 each.
Just to throw a tip in there from Jed Hacker, because he mentioned when I saw him over the weekend that he wired up some lights in his locomotive and didn't bother to pre-check the LEDs. And when he turned it on, he had a couple of warm white and one cool white in there that just kind of messed the whole thing up.
So I try and keep everything in their bags. So like this one says warm white, right? And then I have a drawer that is just warm white LEDs. Here, I'll switch back to this camera.
Tim says Brian was talking about an LED driver. Is that different from what you were showing, Nico?
It's basically the same thing. This is just a voltage regulator, but an LED driver is something similar to that. That's going to put out the required voltage for an LED.
Okay.
So it's going to do in essence what that is, and it's going to be polarity. It's going to direct the polarity, but some of those things won't work with these different color LEDs because it won't allow the polarities to switch.
Okay.
So like I said, if I take my plugs off of here and switch them, now those colors are going to be reversed. Right? So basically that's what's happening with the motor. It's reversing those two. A lot of guys like to buy these pre-made things. I know Robbie sells pre-made LEDs with the resistor already on it. And then a lot of those guys wire everything in parallel.
Oh.
Like I said, to me, that's a lot more wire that I need to use when I can do things just in series. Of course, when I'm doing a RailPro installation and I can't, because I don't have that power, the 24 volts, I have to do stuff the other way.
Just to show you there real quick, Nico, Brian sent me a link to what he was talking about, that CL2N3-G. I put it on the screen there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, they're still 49 cents each.
Okay.
But that's just a voltage regulator. That's yeah. See this right here?
Hang on. I can get rid of that.
This part right here
Yeah.
is a voltage regulator. So this is just a built-up board. You have diodes here, not LEDs, but just regular diodes that make a bridge rectifier. And that just makes the voltage always the same way. You have a couple capacitors in here to just help with any flickering. And then a voltage regulator. And then this is the resistor here for the LED. So that just shows you that the thing's functioning and everything is on. But basically, this is a little bit more complicated version of that just because the diodes are already in here. You could use things like that, but when you're not...
well, Brian says that thing that he mentioned can't handle bidirectional current. He says it can handle any voltage up to 90 volts. So
right. So when guys that are doing... So this is where it differs. When guys are doing battery power and you know your positive is always your positive and your negative is always your negative, it's one thing. When you're doing track power and I'm going to come, my outside rail may be positive, and then I go over to your house and your outside rail is negative, and I put my train on it and all my LEDs blow up. That's why you got to be careful with things. So when you're doing an install for yourself, it's different than when you're doing an install for customers, because sometimes I don't know what they were going to do, or they want both. They want to be able to throw a switch and go track or battery power. And again, I don't know which way their track's going to be wired. So now I have to be very careful of what way I do things so I can make sure that it works for them, because I don't want to get their engine back. So basically that's what you have. You have the red, green. You could get these in all different colors, and you could have like a red and yellow, or an orange, or purple, or blue, or whatever colors you want. And again, it's just really a matter of calculating the resistance. So what RailPro does is they tell you to use a 200 ohm resistor. So again, I buy them in packs because they're cheap. And then they tell you to use that off of their 5-volt system, which that's what I had this for, just in case anybody had any questions regarding that. So if I put this in line, this is going to automatically drop from 24 volts to 5 volts. If anybody wants to see that. I know I'm kind of rushing here because we kind of ran out of time.
You're just trying to compete with Turk and see if you can do as well as he did. I know what it is.
I don't have to compete with anybody. I don't care that much. So does anybody else have any questions regarding this kind of stuff? Or
well, Berger did ask, what is the best way to wire passenger cars, in series from car to car, or each car with its own power source?
So what I did, Well, again, are you doing track power or battery power? Because what I usually do is I wire each car individually, but then I put a jumper wire between them. So now instead of having 4 wheels or 8 wheels on one car and 8 wheels on another car picking up separately, and then you get all that flickering, I put a jumper wire between them. Now all the wheels are connected. And then I put a jumper wire to the next car, and then all the wheels are connected. So now instead of being just 4 wheels connected, you have the whole train is connected. You get rid of the flickering.
Oh.
Just so you know, you got Turk's approval. He says you're doing fine.
Thank you, Turk. At least somebody's thankful. So if anybody wants to see this other LED, I could show you that where it's different colors. So again, if you wire a regular LED backwards, nothing happens. It just doesn't light up. So I'll just show you that too. Because like people are afraid of these things. Say nothing. It's like there's no reason to be afraid of this. It's very low voltage. The biggest thing you want to make sure that your wattage on your, because the resistors can get hot. So you want to make sure that your wattage on your resistors is correct. Because if not, they'll get really hot and they'll start smoking. I mean, basically what's in your smoke unit is a resistor. And it's burning. And the wick is just absorbing the smoke fluid, and the resistor is burning it up. That's basically how a smoke unit works also.
So how do you figure out the proper wattage?
So like I said, in those calculators, it tells you what wattage.
Oh, okay.
So the only thing that happens when you go to a bigger wattage, I mean, the resistors get bigger.
Oh.
So this is the one I'm using. See the difference?
Yeah.
So this is probably like a 10 watt or a 20 watt resistor. And then this is the 1 watt, the little guy. So, I mean, do you want to put a bunch of these in your engine when you barely have room and, you want to use small stuff? So with this, you put two pieces of heat shrink over each end. It's going to be the size of the wire.
Yeah.
This thing, again, you're too big, you're also, it's not necessary. You can go bigger because it's not going to hurt anything, but you don't need it. And they're cheaper. I mean, with everything, the bigger you go, the more expensive it gets. So I don't know if anybody wanted to see this guy light up. I'm trying to rush here.
You're fine. We got till midnight.
You got till midnight. I gotta go to bed. So green. So you got green or red. This is the same type of thing. Depending on which side I'm switching the negative. Right?
Don't be negative. Be positive.
You having fun?
I'm trying.
Fine. All right. Well, I don't know if anybody has any other questions or did this help anybody, but I thought maybe just giving people a small intro to LEDs might, inspire some people to.
I see several April Foolers in the chat saying they're giving away all their trains, but let's see here. Joshua Sanders says, Nico, do you ever use LED wire or LED tape?
Yes. Yes, I've used LED tape in passenger engines, like along the whole roof.
So when he's talking tape, he's talking like the strips, like.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can get those in 24. I've gotten them in 24 volts, and they're already pre-wired. You could hook 24 volts right to it. The only thing you need is a bridge rectifier. So basically what this is a bridge rectifier here on this board.
Okay.
But you can also buy standalone bridge rectifiers. And that's what I usually wire in if somebody asks, for like a lighting system in a car. This way, again, it doesn't matter which way they put it on the track because it's a bridge rectifier basically converts AC to DC. So it doesn't matter if positive's this side, negative's this side, or reverse. It's just going to straighten it out.
Manimal says using a button battery to test is a safe way to check LEDs as well.
Yeah, you use because those are very low voltage.
Okay.
So basically, it's doing the same thing. As I said, you could even like the voltage regulator that they were showing you there, or something like this. This one, like I said, these are, I think when I bought these were like $4 or $5 each. But this has got the bridge rectifier on it. It's got the capacitors. So any flicker that will help with that, and then you have the voltage regulator on there. So it passes it right through, and this also has a light, so you know if it's on, which is nice.
Wonderful. I'm just looking here. Let's see. Now, I know it's Dan's personal preference, but Dan says never use the blue LEDs. I think he's referring to the cool blue ones.
Yeah, so I buy the warm white ones because I think they look more like a natural light. You know, if you ever seen those cars driving down the road with that like whitish blue, horrible headlights that drive you can't see. I don't like the way those look, even on a train. I think they don't look real. So I don't put them on. I like to use the warm white. Yes, and Joshua's right. Because you have a bridge rectifier, you can control the output. So on the output, you could put a capacitor across, as long as you're using the right voltage capacitor, and then that stops the flickering also. I mean, there's tons of stuff you could do. Like I said, I'm not trying to.
Dan says blue is for toy trains, Nico.
Aren't these old toys? I'm not following. But there you go, 9:02. Sorry for the rush through it, but.
Well, and real quick before we go, because I want to make sure I mention it, is I always try to make sure I remember to mention the cover photo contest winners from the Facebook groups.
Didn't you forget one of our other sponsors tonight too?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, you're good at this.
I meant to do it on the transition earlier. So
yep, whatever you
well,
say. Yep.
I'm gonna follow through on that, even though it's too late. So
yeah, now that everybody left. Good job.
I'd like to show the sponsor video from Me Love Trains real quick, and then I'll show you the winners from.
Yeah, because you even remembered.
Thanks for waiting until the last minute. You've been sitting on that all night, just waiting to throw that at me, haven't you?
Yep.
That's what happens when I'm tired from going to the train show.
Not my problem. You weren't too tired to throw jabs at me, so.
Oh.
Yeah. That's because my brain's tired. All right. So here's our sponsor video. Late but not forgotten from Me Loves Trains, and then I'd like to show you the photos from our Facebook group cover photo contest winners. So
you're welcome, Chris. You're welcome, Chris.
I'm sorry, Chris.
He's not.
And yes, Chris, if you're watching now or later, I am sorry again.
Slacker.
It was fun seeing. Tim says it's my fault you're tired for keeping up. No, it's not your fault, Tim. It's Scott Fowler's, because he came back down after he said he was going to bed and then talked to us till 12:30 in the morning.
You're a big boy. You can say I have to go to bed.
This is true. Very, very true. Right, real quick here. So,
don't you miss this, Sean? Don't you want to come back? Take over for me a little bit.
So our first photo here is from the Large Scale Trains group, and scrolling at the bottom there if you're wanting to find the group. This was for last month's cover photo contest, and our winner, of course, if people don't recognize the work, was Sean Vigiano. I think I said that right. I always think that's Boris standing on that locomotive for some reason. And actually, the contest for both these groups is running right now for this next month through the end of the day on the 2nd. And then our next photo.
I heard it's rigged.
It is not rigged. That's just because you keep losing. Our next photo is from the Conrail G-Scale Railroaders group that I run on Facebook. Let me find the link for that. Right there.
How many groups?
And our winner there was Mark Bottrell. As I always say, Mark's got the nicest looking Conrail layout that's not in the U.S. I'm not quite sure how he pulls it off, but he does some pretty phenomenal work in my book, as well do many others. There's a lot of people way better than I am at mostly everything.
Remembering your sponsors.
Remembering our sponsors, yeah.
We even had another giveaway you forgot about.
Well, we can do it, but, you know, I don't know if you wanted to do it yet or not.
It's too late now. It's after 9. I want to go to bed.
All right. Well, all right. We'll have to leave people hanging until the next show for the giveaway, which, by the way, our next show is going to be...
Oh, I got an announcement.
Oh, no. You said it's too late now. Go ahead.
Nope, I don't want to do it now. We'll be having 4-Track will be giving something really good away at the Northeast Large Scale Train Show.
Ooh, can I enter to win it?
No. Just because you're mean to me.
Something really good, huh?
Yep.
Is it
One of a one of a kind.
Is it a night out with Dackman? He takes you to dinner and a movie?
Yes. A romantic night out with Dackman. You guessed it.
Well, whatever Nico is giving away, you would never put it together anyway because we're still waiting for you to put his first project together.
Well, it's a good thing he didn't because he was able to bring it to the train show this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Burger Luch was asking, do you have to be in person to win what you're going to have at the show?
Yes, you do. You will have to be present on Sunday.
On Sunday, okay.
The show is Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, good. Tim Stump said I can use his name to enter your giveaway. Oh, damn it. Now I said Tim's name. Now you're going to know.
Now Tim's not able to enter.
Well, no, you know what? I'm just going to enter a picture of Larry in a Speedo.
I'm just going to, just keep knocking you guys off one by one. I'd like somebody that actually uses their trains to win it,
Yeah, I hear you. But our next live stream, of course, is going to be April 28th at 7. I don't have any info for you on what we're going to be doing on that show.
That's going to be right from the show.
Right from the show.
Yeah.
Wait, are we doing it during the show or are we doing it after the show?
No, after the show.
Oh, okay. I'm just thinking, I have 7 on there. I'm I don't think the show runs till 9 o'clock at night.
No, but I'm saying we're still going to be up in Massachusetts.
Ah, okay. I follow. So we'll make sure you just watch the website, largescaletrains.com.
It's like the three of us talking to each other, right? Nobody else is even on the...
I don't know. Do we even exist? Is this real? I'm starting to kind of wonder.
All the viewers have just checked out. They're gone.
They're gone.
These three are just talking to each other. I'm out of here.
But yeah, so April 28th will be our next show, and just keep an eye on the website. We'll update it with some info.
We'll probably have surprise guests.
Larry Otis?
Sure.
I mean, we're staying at the same hotel as him. We're using that special rate code, that he gave us.
Yep.
What was the rate code? Yellow Speedo.
Yellow Speedo.
So.
Thong Speedo.
All right.
That's what I want to see.
With that, we'll wrap it up and say goodnight to everybody. Thank you, Sean, for coming on and hanging out with us and sharing some of your East Coast history with us.
East Coast memories.
East Coast memories. So remember, when you make that video and you make that documentary, like later on, you're going to have to make like a V-Check edition of that.
A V-Check edition?
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We were sorry we got drug out a little bit. My brain's just superbly tired tonight. And we'll see you all next month. So thank you much. And
thank you, everybody.
Everybody.
We'll see you guys later. Oh, man. What time is it? Oh, no. I played another game of Nat Roulette. Wow. I think I fell asleep at 1 and now it's 6. I had this dream about being on some of the large scale live with Andrew. Oh, well. Maybe one day I'll be able to be on the show with Andrew, MrPictovid, on the large scale live. In the meantime, I'll tune into it with my Roku device. Thankfully, I didn't miss the next show.